every breakfast has a sponsor, and it is my privilege this morning to introduce our sponsor, Knox County Trustee Justin Biggs. Justin, come on up and have a few words with us.
Good morning. Good morning. First and foremost, I want to say thank you guys for coming out this morning. It means a lot to me to have the opportunity to be able to sponsor your breakfast. But more than anything, thank you all for your service and everything that you've done for our country. Real quick, I want to give a shout out to some of my team members that you guys have saw this morning that have been walking around, maybe filling up your cups or getting you some breakfast or taking it back to the trash can. Mr. Jason Dobbins in the navy blue. Monica Shingles. Regina and Brian. And Jackie Rayler. As you guys know, you're only as good as your team, and these are individuals on my team that I definitely am very grateful for, and they've done an amazing job and continue to do an amazing job serving you and all the other taxpayers. I am Justin Biggs. I wanted to take another quick second to probably talk about another hard worker, probably one of the hardest workers I saw this morning in the room, and that's your County Commissioner, Rhonda Lee, right here.
Yeah.
She's done an amazing job. She's here all the time for you guys. Thank you, Ms. Rhonda. Done a great job. And then two men that are very near and dear to me. I've learned a lot from these men over the years. One politically and one the backside of his belt, because he used to spank me all the time. And it's my father, Eddie Biggs, right there in the pit. And it's my good friend, John Whitehead. Both of them are veterans. So my name is Justin Biggs. I do get the honor to be your trustee. I've been here a few times, a lot of familiar faces, and I wanted to talk to you. Luckily, I'm not stumping or campaigning, right? This is the actual talk. This is a talk about a program that we offer that I want to see people take advantage of for disabled veterans. So through the years, the trustee's office has had multiple basically state programs that are funded, but they've not done a great job of getting the word out. And one of the things about the tax relief, tax freeze, and disabled veterans program is it's something that we do not have to charge for you to administer. There are programs that we do charge to administer. This is not a charged administered program. So what is tax freeze? Tax freeze means last year, Rhonda was one of the commissioners that voted to make sure that it was increased from $42,490 to $60,000. So if your house makes under $60,000 a year, we freeze your property taxes. And if there's one man in this room that can tell you about reappraisal and how much your property values go up, that would be John Whitehead back there. He could tell you the property values are more than likely going to increase. Knoxville's growing at a rapid pace. So let's sign you up for tax freeze to make sure that your property taxes never increase. Now, that does not mean that they can't decrease. That just puts a ceiling in there so it'll never go higher. So that's one program that everybody in here, if you make under $60,000 a year, you qualify. This table right here that Miss Regina in the pink, we have applications. We're ready to sign you up today. Put us to work. We're ready to work. The next is tax relief. If you're over the age of 65 and make under a specific dollar amount, that's anybody that may not be a veteran. They may go to your church. They may go to one of your key clubs. You may see them at the gym. You may see them doing any of your extracurricular activities. If they're over the age of 65, make under a specific dollar amount, we could sign you up for tax relief. That's going to give you some money back on your property taxes. Now, the reason I'm here to talk to this group today is the Disabled Veterans Benefits gives you back $480 on your property taxes. That pays some, if not all, of your property taxes. For years, it's been going around that you had to be a 100% disabled veteran. That is not true. That is not true. Let us sign you up. Let us submit you to the state. Let us talk to the state and see what we can do. We've seen people in the 60, 65% disabled range that have been approved for this. So we would love to be able to administer this program with you. Now, I know there's people that aren't here, and I know there's people, if you guys are anything like me, you're probably thinking, this could really work for so-and-so. Last year, we saw the need for a lot of people that were elderly, that were disabled, that couldn't get CAC transport, couldn't get transport to our offices, to our satellite offices that we have all throughout the county. So we started a mobile operations program. It's called MOP. And that mobile operations program, we will come to your house, we'll administer your paperwork, we'll scan your paperwork in, we'll put it in for you for the state, so that way nobody misses out on these programs. So that's something that's new. Real quick, I want to pause for like 2 seconds. One of my good friends just walked in, and he does everything he can for veterans. He does a lot of stuff for Knox County, not only Knox County, his 2nd Congressional District. Congressman Burchett, just wanted to... Thank you for all you do. Thank you for everything you do for our community. Keep up the good fight in Washington. I know it's not easy, brother, but you're doing a heck of a job. We really appreciate you. Thank you. So that's kind of where we're at. We'll come to you, put us to, like I've said, put us to work. We'll do any and everything we can. And that's the 3 programs, the Disabled Veterans Program that I really wanted to talk to you about, the Mobile Operations Program I wanted to talk to you about. Now here's the next part. I've done a lot of these talks, and I've done these talks all across the county, and I could sit up here and prove to you guys how big of a nerd I am and how much I like numbers and math and banking and investing and stuff like that. But my dad's always told me to go with your gut, so I'm going to go with my gut this morning. So I introduced you guys to my dad. He's in the pink shirt back there. His name's Eddie Biggs. He is a veteran, came back, gave us 42 years in the police department, 42 years, retired after protecting and serving. So I want to talk to you guys about my dad. My dad's one of my best friends. He is my best friend. He's not one of my best friends. He is my best friend, and I'm very blessed and thankful to have him. So I'm going to tell you guys about what we do in our family and how my family is formed, because a lot of us in the Biggs family, we focus on faith, family, and friends, right? That's the 3 things that we always try to focus on and have family time. So if I make you mad with this story, I'm sorry, kind of, but not really. Maybe you need to hear it worse than I think you do, or whatever. So back in the 80s, there was this thing called the Metro Narcotics Unit. And it was what's called the MLB building on Western Avenue. And that's probably when my dad would say, you could get a dime bag for a dime, right? Like, it's been that long, back whenever they used to worry about marijuana and stuff like that. They don't have fentanyl where people are overdosing all over the place, and just, the war on drugs that we're in right now, it's nowhere near as bad as it was back then, but it's what led to it. And so my dad and my mother had me coming along in the early 80s, and my father and my mom was actually pregnant with me, and my mom kept talking to my dad. She said, you're out, you're working with these big time drug dealers, these killers and stuff like that. You're trying to put them in jail for the betterment of our community. I would really enjoy it if you would come to church with me. And my dad said no, no. First few times, no. Well, I was in my mom's stomach. My mother was pregnant with me. And so after some time, my father decided to go to church with my mom. My dad went to church with my mom. And one of the things that at that time that he didn't understand, that it was something a little bit different, that he went and then he left, and then whenever he left, he just felt this yearning inside of him to basically go back to church. For a lot of you people probably that do go to church, you probably know what that's called. It's called conviction, right? Yeah. And I'm not trying to preach to you, but I'm just kind of giving up here and giving you where my family's at. So my father was under what's called conviction at the time. And one of the things that he didn't understand was where his life was headed. He had a wife pregnant, me in her stomach. My sister was 4 at the time. And so he decided to go back to church one more time. And then it hit him really hard. It hit, like, conviction just kind of like slapped him right in the face. Like he knew that there was something missing in his life. And one of the things that he didn't get at the time was the direction life was trying to teach him, and that was God speaking to him. And at the MLB building, there's a big swimming pool now right down from the Knoxville News Census, and it's right there. It's a pool, and you pull out, and there's a road that sits right here. And he was pulling out, and he saw a car pulling out. Well, this was the 80s. There wasn't cell phones, and you can't take a picture with everything. So he looked over at that car and he recognized the person that was driving the car. And so he thought to himself, I should probably pull him over. But it was a Wednesday night, and he had promised my mother that was pregnant with me that he would go to church with her that night. Promised. So he said, no, I'm not going to pull that car over. I'm going to go on, and I'm going to go get my wife, and we're going to go to church. Did that. Nothing changed that night. He didn't accept Christ at the time. But he went to church with my mother, came home, came into work the next day, and they said, Biggs, remember that guy we were looking for, the one by the FBI? Yes. Well, he went up the road. Where did he go, Dad? He went up the road to Kentucky. Roane County. Went up the road to Roane County, and a state trooper saw him, tried to pull him over, and he shot and killed him. So, what's that mean? That means if my father would have pulled him over, I never would have met my dad, who's my hero. Never would have met him, and he would have went to hell. Whether you're a believer or not. I'm sorry if I offend you. But that's what that means. And one of the things that my father has installed in me my whole life is whenever you feel something that needs to be said, just say it. And I really have no idea why I told you guys that story. But I felt like I needed to. And I could have stood up here and talked to you guys about banking and investing and everything, but it was in my heart, and I'm sorry if I offended you with that, but I felt like it needed to be said this morning. And I know that's probably a totally different direction than you guys probably thought that I was going to go with the trustee's office, but that's what my heart led me to talk about this morning. So,
that's a praise God story. Yes.
Thank you.
Praise God.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And so, if you want to talk about the trustee's office, call me. I will probably ramble on, but and I know that this is probably a different talk, but thank you guys for having me. I appreciate your service. You guys are heroes in all of our eyes. Thank you for everything you've done. Pat, I'll turn it back over to you. We would love to sign you up. We have applications and flyers and pamphlets to hand out to you guys. Thank you.